First of all, a very good evening, everyone. GHRDC welcomes you to today's webinar titled Hotel and Hospitality Industry, Turning the Crisis into Opportunity, Building New Skills and Changing Career Outlook. First of all, thank you everyone for taking your time and joining in with us today. We are very delighted to have with us our experts from industry and academia for this discussion. On behalf of GHRDC team, I welcome our expert panel members. GHRDC, as many of you would be aware, is a 22-year-old education research firm dedicatedly working in the education sector in the area of ranking, training, mentoring, and research with the very sole aim of working on upgrading the quality of education in various sectors and benchmarking the best of educational institutions of our country. Hotel management has been one area which has been very close to our heart, and we have now completed working in this area for more than 15 years now. This whole webinar series is a part of our vision to bring about a positive collaboration between the hotel management, educational institutions, and the hotel and hospitality industry itself for the growth and guidance of our students, educational institutions, and the industry. As we have all seen, the hospitality industry is no stranger to the turbulent times and global crisis during COVID. As one of the world's oldest business models, the industry has been through world wars, epidemics, Gulf tensions, recessions, and now the COVID-19 pandemic. As we speak today, the whole paradigm and definition of this sector has undergone and continue to undergo a huge transformation at this stage. We now invite our distinguished speakers to talk about this change we are experiencing and their views on what lays ahead. Also, I would request our wonderful attendees to type in their questions for our speakers in the Q&A box, which is given along with their name to the speaker they want to address their questions to. Now, I would request our Assistant Director, Ms. Aradhna Changakoti, to briefly introduce our guest speakers for today.
Thank you, Neha. Greetings from GHRDC team to all our distinguished speakers. It's my pleasure to introduce our speakers for today's webinar. Professor Chef K. Thiru is the young, dynamic, and vibrant principal of the most admired, far-famed, world's 26th ranked and India's Supreme Hospitality Institute Wellcome Group Graduate School of Hotel Administration, Manipal. He is an accomplished chef, an erudite academician, a conversant leader, and a proficient administrator with 30 years of expertise and experience, both in hotel operations and academics. Scholastically, he is Master of Science, Master of Business Administration, and Master of Philosophy, and adorned as a distinguished member of the esteemed Institute of Hospitality, London. His area of functional expertise includes academic processes and curriculum enrichment, hotel and kitchen operations management, cost containment and quality assurance, along with customer service and special events. Mr. Rishabh Tandon is the Area Director, Human Resources with Intercontinental Hotel Group. He passionately drives people strategy for 11 IHG hotels in North, East, and West India. Rishabh has grown with IHG and handled multiple roles in L&D, HR, and social media employer branding. He has received multiple accolades for his leadership, including the Forbes India Top 100 People's Manager 2019, Best Hospitality Personality Award, and HR Team of the Year Award. IHG hotel brands in India include Holiday Inn, Crown Plaza, Intercontinental, and Holiday Inn Expresses. Dr. S.K. Singh is the COO of Amrapali Institute of Hotel Management, Haldwani. He is a dedicated hospitality professional with a doctorate degree. He began his career with hotel industry as a professional chef, where he mastered skills in operations and management. With over 8 years of experience as a chef and operational manager in hospitality industry, he opted to be an educationist. During his 20 years of academic exposure, he nurtured skills in managing educational institute, developing policies, strategizing, developing academic learning environment, and operations. He has also authored 4 books. He considers himself a learner and is keenly interested in learning new age teaching pedagogies and practicing them. Ms. Kamalini Paul is the Managing Director, Paulson Hotels and Resorts Private Limited. Having started her entrepreneurial journey at the age of 18, she passionately seeks growth and diversification in business ideas and opportunities. As someone who learned a trade through trial and error process, her eagerness to learn and improve and perseverance have brought her to the current position. As a young woman of 25, foraying into the unrecognized and male-dominated industry of real estate and spearheading hotel business have made her realize how much work needs to be done to empower women to take on such roles without apprehensions. She wishes to lead by example and committed to doing her bit in creating an open, unbiased community of tomorrow. Now we have Ms. Mekhla Sinha, the Executive Director of GHRDC, who will be acting as the moderator for the discussion today. With this, I request Ms. Mekhla now to take over and initiate the panel discussion. Over to you, Mekhla.
Thank you, Aradhana. Thank you so much. I once again extend a very, very warm welcome to all our speakers today. It is absolutely our pleasure and honor to have you all here. And we still are waiting for Ms. Kamalini Paul to arrive, but then we'll continue with the discussion. Once she joins in, we can also continue with the discussion with her. So as you would have also heard in the script that Neha shared, that this is basically a platform that we are trying to create between industry and educational institutions in the hotel and hospitality area to really understand what can be forged ahead in terms of the path and how has this COVID situation affected us and what is the way forward, especially for students, because they are the ones who are the aspirants and they are our future for the next few decades. So my first question is going to be to Professor Chef Thiru from Vaksha Manipal University.
Yes.
So my first question to you is, what is the crisis that was experienced by the hotel and hospitality sector, and how do you feel that this sector has turned this crisis into opportunity for itself?
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to, share my thoughts and an experience in this forum. And for me, as far as, I put, initial my experience in industry and then came to teaching. And what I believe this 2020 has been a black swan year, unprecedented, with severe consequence. I think the new normal is a misnomer. It should be really be the new future, I would say, because, we don't know. It is a new normal is telling you to sit back, relax, and wait for the turbulence to get over or fly into the clear sky. I think past, I know if, as far as my knowledge is concerned, that the world has changed permanently for the future, right? It must start from ground zero now. Okay, so now what we need to keep in mind that disruption is always the mother of opportunity, especially disruption like one we are going through needs an optimist to see a bright future in a new world. So I will come to later stage by sharing what is we need to do in the way forward. And at the moment, I think I should give an opportunity to other panel member.
Sure. We have Ms. Kamalini Paul, who has also joined us for the webinar. Very warm welcome. You're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you very much for having me as a part of this. It's lovely to meet each and every one of you. Looking forward to a very insightful period with y'all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Anybody else who would like to add to the insights that Professor Thiru shared about how the COVID has affected and what this experience has been like for the hotel and hospitality sector, and what kind of opportunities can we see really from this?
I do have a little bit of an input on that. Although in the beginning, the COVID crisis really put me on a back foot, and I was really devastated because honestly, we can't really work from home. Okay, we really have to go to work. I do see a lot of new opportunities coming out of it. As in, at least my company, we started up with a new budget brand, okay, which is based in and around the holiday destinations. Because one of the many things I noticed during COVID was in India, a lot of the holiday destinations which were traversed by the middle class did not really have any mid-range hygienic stays. Either they were really premier places or they were really guest houses which were not very hospitable or hygienic. So, and not too many people really focused on Indian holiday destinations, which were a little remote. So, however, once COVID put us all back into our own country and restraining us to travel in and around the world, I feel that puts us in that does create a huge opportunity for Indian hospitality, as like you have a huge population of people who are now mostly traveling in and around India, and we don't know when borders are going to open. Borders are going to open. So
Just lost you in between. Couldn't hear you right at the end.
So yeah, given that now we have a larger audience available only within the boundaries of the Indian subcontinent, that is a major opportunity on its own, I believe. Because before we were not just competing with we had to compete with international holiday destinations to be accepted. Like there was always the option of going to Thailand or to Singapore, which were going to be as cost effective. It's not actually that expensive for even middle class people to travel there. Now that we have the entire Indian audience in its own subcontinent, that itself is a huge opportunity of growth. I see it as.
I think that's a very wonderful insight and input that you've shared, because it is a great opportunity, and things have changed as far as this landscape is concerned. And yes, this can be converted into a great business opportunity for hotels and hospitality sector in many, many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Sorry.
Yes, absolutely. Please carry on.
Yes, sorry, sir. I think, to add that, what I would say that, talking about opportunity, the dynamics of business seems to have changed permanently. Okay. So the pandemic will have a financial ramification on the industry, and that the focus will shift completely to cash flow management. So every hotel owners and restaurant owners or hospitality or even management company, looking for new opportunities. Already we could witness wherein the hotels have never thought of it getting into going for the online orders, because in the last year they would have not thought of it that, but it made to force them to do certain things which is not they are doing it regularly. I think there are a lot of changes already happened, and it continue to happen. It will be a great opportunity for students as well as the industry professionals. The only thing is that we all have to work together, and its industry academia interface is very important to redesign entire hotel and restaurant business, so that we are ready to give our manpower, and the industry should accept and then take it forward, so that the win-win situation for both industry and academia. Sorry, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Well, as other speakers are saying that this pandemic has forced us to look into various alternatives. We all agree to that. Earlier, the industry was focusing more on ARR, but what is happening now is everyone is looking after cost optimization. Now, because the shift is there towards cost optimization, what is evident is there are new business models which are coming into picture now. And when you look into different business models, this tie-up between academia and industry becomes very important, because in academic, what we face is our curriculum are not updated as it should be. So there is a gap in updating of our curriculum, and because of this pandemic, what has happened is the entire world was in a closed nutshell, and we were able to approach everyone online. And we, as a teachers, we learned a lot. We learned about various practices worldwide, and most of the institutions, they have adapted to it. And this indeed initially was a challenging thing, but by the end of this COVID, we have learned a lot of things, and Believe me, all of us have become wonderful learners now, and we are now looking into wonderful practices coming in academic domain also.
Very true, sir. Completely agree. I have another very interesting question which I'd like to ask Mr. Rishabh Tandon. So we were talking about opportunities in terms of how this COVID situation has presented overall for the hotel and hospitality sector. But my next question is pertaining specifically to the students. And since you are, in a position where you're handling and facing such kind of skill set and students on a day-to-day basis, how do you think this is an opportunity for the students, and what are the kind of new skill sets do you see that the students will need to imbibe in the coming months and years?
Thank you, Mekhala, for asking this question. And I'll be super honest with you. I'm just imagining if I am a student who is supposed to pass out or graduate in the year 2020, I may have had a job offer also, but because the hotels are closed or not even open, what should I do? Or I may have received a refusal email from the company that because of pandemic, we are not hiring. I know, and for a fact that a lot of good brands have closed their management trainee programs also. I may have given my level best in the 3 years, in the 4 years, and when the time came to pass out, there are no jobs in the market. Also, you realize if I'm a hotel HR manager, I have to save the job of my people who are currently working with me. Will I lay them off, or do they go on the bench? And then when I start hiring, should I hire a student or should I hire my own employee who was working with me? So these are very, very contrary thoughts in my mind. But if I am a student in the same trap, what should I do? So I will invest my time in, there is no option but to learn. If I had a plan to do my MBA, if I am from that 30% of the student generation who wanted to do future studies after 2 years of experience, I will change the priorities. I will fast-paced, I will prepare for CAT, I'll target my top 30, 40 B schools, and I will go for my MBA. If my plan was to go ahead in hospitality, my future plan was to do invest in masters from Cornell or from a CIA or from École Hôtelière de Lausanne, I will fast track that. I do understand that because of the international travel, this is taking time, but there is no harm in fast tracking my application. So one is education and learning as one of the priorities. Second is, what if I come from that majority 80% whose parents even can't afford that kind of education? And I'll be honest about it. Not everyone can afford, because I've already paid 5, 6, 15, 20 lakh in my graduation. So what should I do then? There are quite a few areas where we see some opportunities picking up. For example, as the industry is, becoming, I would say, showing some signs of relief, because we all have moved from an average occupancy of 30% to 60, 65%. We do understand that we are compromising on the average room rate, hence the total revenue is impacted. But what we see is a lot of opportunities coming up in areas like revenue, because we are highly dependent upon it. The game is about revenue managers and revenue management. Why it is fast track is because there's a cutthroat competition. There is more supply in the market than the demand. You won't believe, I connect with revenue managers every hour. They go on the system and they change the rate, and there is so much of cutthroat competition that you might even get a room at a Taj Mahal hotel or a JW Aerocity at a 4,000 or 5,000 rupees, because the game is all about demand and supply. So for a student perspective, revenue is one area where the people can look at starting their career. Honestly, none of the hotel will give you a direct chance to be in revenue. You might have to do an internship under a revenue manager or a reservation manager. If you are not getting an assignment, pick up analytics. as one area or a short course, because there is a huge demand for business analysts in the market. Even in hospitality, my parent company IHG, they have come up with something called as IHG fundamentals. So these are a crux. This is more like a balanced scorecard, or more like a detailed report basis of different parameters of people engagement, guest engagement, CSR. But there's a team which is responsible for making analytics. While both revenue and analytics might sound pretty alien to a student, because student has done more of a food and beverage, front office, housekeeping. The signs of recovery is highly visible, especially in cities like Delhi NCR. Yesterday, I myself was in one of the restaurant because it was a Friday night, and there was a colleague whom we were bidding farewell. I honestly didn't get even a sign that there was a corona. The restaurants are packed like crazy, like the way the food courts are packed like crazy, which is a clear indicator that India is not going to stop in terms of our culture of eating and dining is not going to stop. This is despite the fact, imagine hotel occupancy 60-65%, despite the fact that the international travel is not open. While COVID is a fear indicator, on top of our heads, every day we see it like 20,000 plus cases coming in the last couple of weeks. But the very fact, believe, is that once situation is controlled, India is going to revolve and evolve out of this pretty fast. Hirings have already started in the hotels. If you go on LinkedIn, every hotel is hiring for associate level, because hotels have also realized that you can't survive with that kind of a manpower or leaner manpower. Yes, there would be some clustering of roles, but that is at the senior level. You might find if there are two different hotels, there would be one common person, as a cluster role, which was always there, but now you would find, because there's a focus on cost optimization, you would find more cluster roles for the senior level. But even for students in all dimensions, I think now the doors are open. Whether it is operations or it is reservations, revenue, they have to, because now it could be a scenario where they have passed out of the college, they are on their own. They have to do that initial struggle of calling hotels or applying for jobs, but the hiring has restarted. Sorry for taking a little more time, but I am in the midst of the same thing.
No, we felt you were absolutely the right person to answer this question, because you are, in that area and dealing with it day in, day out. Ms. Kamalini Paul, would you like to add to what Mr. Tandon shared and give us a few insights, ideas, inputs, especially for the students who are present today, as to how they should prepare themselves for the changing landscape of the hotel and hospitality industry?
So thank you. I do agree with you. We did as hotelier or as independent myself. Last year we did go to a complete stop with okay, or getting you people on board.
Your video has frozen and I'm not able to hear you properly.
Sorry, hello, can you hear me?
No, not yet, not yet. And your video has also frozen, I think. Some network issue.
I'm so sorry about that. Hello?
Yeah, your voice is still breaking.
Let me just try something else. Is that better?
Maybe slightly, but still not able to hear you clearly. I'm not able to hear you clearly. I don't know about others.
Yeah, there is some network issue, I think, at her end.
We are not able to hear properly.
Yeah, yeah.
Could you, okay, let me just sit back now in terms. We have a network. Sorry.
I think there is some network issue. It's happening at her.
login again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we'll just continue with the same question and dialogue that we were having right now. Mr. Singh, would you like to contribute to this and tell us as to how, according to you, you feel that the students will need to now change in terms of their preparation, skill sets for the changing landscape that we are in today?
Well, Mekhla, let me.
Sorry, Mekhla, there is
tell
no
all the
audio.
students- Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good enough. Look, the students need to understand that this is a time when they have to work on their emotional intelligence also. It's not of those core skills which were earlier required. Now, when you look into the industry is working at a different landscape altogether. The operations have changed. We have been talking a lot about the SOPs and new things which are coming into the industry. So what the student need to do is first they need to have an independent thinking approach. Because even in academics we are not now talking about blended learning and flipped model being implemented. Because earlier what we were doing was we were talking about pedagogy, and today we need to look into the andragogy part of it. When I say andragogy means it has to be a student-led academics now, wherein a student has to take pain, do a lot of homework at their own end, and practice with teachers at supporting them as a guide. Now, when this is going to happen, because as a teacher, if I stand in my class and if I deliver a lecture, I know if they go to Google, they will get a number of better lectures which are delivered on that particular topic, that particular content. Now, when this is happening, the student need to change their behavioral approach, because the industry wherein if we look at the present scenario, as Rishabh told right now, that the management training programs are closed, and in most of the hotels, the management training programs are closed. Now, students who are having this fixed mindset of being there as a management trainee in any good chain of hotels, he or she needs to look back and re-strategize the entire career plan now. And when I say re-strategize the entire career plan, that could be, okay, meanwhile, can I go for some online certifications which can add on value to me? There are a number of online certifications which will add value to them. And rather than waiting idly and sitting idly at their place, better is to get engaged somewhere. Second is, the student need to understand that cooperative learning is going to be a need of our. So if they can join hands with some other students and not within their institution only, they can now collaborate, because collaboration is going to be a major skill now in near future in hospitality industry also. Because even hotels, they have started collaborating for different things. A particular chain of hotel with a particular skill set is looking at different organization to adapt some new skill sets. And now when I say this thing, so this collaborative skill has to be imbibed within the students. And this can only be done if, as a teacher, if I understand, okay, I'm now going to be a guide who is going to coach them in a way which is required. So as a teacher, it becomes very important for me also to understand that I need to change some requisite skills. Now, today's teacher, he has to be smart in terms of using the IT technologies also. We cannot have those teachers who were of X generation. We are now talking about Z generation, and therein this gap has to be looked into. So there are a lot of skill sets which we need to look into, and curiosity is something which is the demand. They need to be curious to answer few questions which they have in their mind, because until unless they have this curiosity in their mind, okay, what next? If I'm not going to get a management training program right now, what next? Let me explore. Let me go to experienced people. They can right now they can approach people like Rishabh, or they can approach Ms. Kamini, and they can have an online discussion with them wherein they can plan their career in a better way. Now the world is very close. This is a wonderful gift which this pandemic has given us. And we need to explore this now. There is no boundary as such. That's what I think. Chef Thiru can add on something to that.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your ideas. So I would personally feel that I'm advising all my students. First, you have to come down with your ego. Like Mr. Rishabh was mentioning that associate level the hotels are started picking up. So college like us, and then the students always would try to get into management training. So I've been past 2 months, I've been addressing all of them to come out, they have to, shut their ego out, take the job, whatever you get, and first strengthen your skill set. Parallelly, if you could acquire some certification, nothing comes easy. So you need to one side focus on your skill set, other side, what is that the consumer demand is going to change. The huge shift is going to happen, and the well-being and then mental and physical health, they are going to focus. So as a future hospitality leader, are you getting ready for that? So for that, you need a built foundation. So foundation is very important. I may dream that I got disappointed that I didn't get through management training program or ITC or Oberoi or IHG, whatever it may be. But be realistic. At this point of time, you don't have any choice. So get your hands dirty. And we are talking about, research says that future is a gig economy. Okay, the entire service industry demand is going to increase, and then the prediction says that 2.7 trillion USD going to be 2025 service economy. So you being a hospitality and culinary professional, and you need to first strengthen your skill set and then look into what is the future likely. I'm going to be peak in 27, 31. So are you going to able to manage your workforce, and you need to have additional skill sets. So for that, it's a building, blocks. The foundation should be strong. So first, the ego, they have to shut their ego out, get whatever job they get, and then start working it. We can't blame, when these things are going to normal. Nobody can predict. So my advice would be, those who are interested in and you want to, survive, or you wanted to continue to work in industry, please take up the job, whatever you get, and see that, you have opportunities. Now, first 5 years you work, whatever level you are, then future you're going to, freelance yourself. The industry going to demand that I need a specialist, 10, 15 people for these many hours. So you could be a man power, supply to that, you could be a freelancer. So things are going to change. You're not going to continue to work what you are today. So that's what I'm been suggesting. And I think I give it to other panel members to add more.
Yes, Miss Paul has, I think, joined in. Her network is also fine. Would you like?
I'm extremely sorry about that.
Yeah.
I am sorry, the network's not in my hand, so I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, I'm very interesting topic, actually. I do, as someone who's personally studied business with marketing and management, my goal in the beginning, when I got done with my degree, was to be a brand manager in probably in marketing. However, I became a hotelier. And as someone who's from a very young age taken on challenges, my advice to these students would be to think beyond what you already know. If you thought that you wanted to be a hotelier and join the hotel industry, keep that thought on hold for 2 days. Okay, or when I say 2 days, I mean for a period. Yeah, unlearn that thought and try something else. Because when you try something else, maybe in a very diverse industry, even for like 6 months, there'll be two things that you'll figure out. Number one, whether you're actually passionate about hospitality, you want to join the hospitality industry because you actually truly love it. Number two, you learn something beyond hospitality. Having studied in that field, having or looking for a job opportunity exactly in the same field, what happens, you become a little unidimensional. That's why you're thinking in that way, that I want to do this. I'm not saying that's a wrong thing, but as an entrepreneur who's always trying to innovate and do different things, I think my strongest point is the fact that I studied something else, or I explored something else, and then I became a hotelier. So what happens is, I had the idea and the knowledge on my experience of interacting with different people from different fields before I joined hospitality. So by the time I joined hospitality, I was a little more aware of human beings and human interactions, and I had ideas in different areas. So I would say that if right now you're not getting the job of your dream, or which you thought was your dream right after college, try out something else. You never know, you might find that is what your journey was supposed to be about. The pandemic is not only affecting one or two people, it's affecting everyone around the world. So maybe just maybe we need to all ponder on the fact that it changes our direction, or that the path that we had so thought out in our mind, we all are reinventing or relearning that path, right? So maybe what your pre-decided notion for that subject was, maybe put it on a pause and try something else. You never know, something better and more wonderful can turn out for you. So yes, if you're passionate about hospitality, you're not getting the job that you want, I would not say that just hold on to that as something that's bad for you. Instead, open your eyes and try something new. Maybe that's what's going to be your journey. Yeah.
In fact, I wish to add on here. You know, I have some similar thoughts which echoes my sentiment. I personally believe that talent and water are unstoppable. You know, if there is a talent and you need to grow, you will grow. For example, as we all know that currently both Dubai and Maldives are doing pretty good, and they're doing good because of Indians traveling to these destinations, right? You know, and in this whole game, I see a lot of our colleagues from India have already joined hotels in Dubai, in Maldives, have started their new career journeys. So, you know, this is another quick transformation happening. So it's not like, though the borders are closed, but there are important commercial flights happening, though the numbers have reduced. Also, I saw some of the students which I shortlisted, and they couldn't join us, or they couldn't join a management trainee program. In the last 1 year, they have set up either their cloud kitchens, they've set up their bakeries, and they're doing fabulously well. You won't believe some of them are making that kind of a money, which would have been done in 10 years of career. And this is sounding cliched, but some successful bakeries, some successful cloud kitchens have come. People have become entrepreneurs in this transformation itself. You know, Swiggy and Zomato have done 10x business, 10 times of their normal business on the New Year day. So, you know, the world was always different. Let's accept the fact that when we were doing hotel management, out of a batch of 100, only 10 were joining hotels, or 15 were joining hotels. And those that were joining hotels also, only 5 or 6 were remaining. So we were anyway contributing to the other industries. You know, we were coming into services, we were coming into, you know, there was a BPO boom, so people were joining BPOs, people were going for masters in Australia, Canada, they were doing something else, maybe under the bigger umbrella of hospitality or services, right? So, and it's not that, you know, you can held the only hotel as the, you know, boundaries to go into. So we need to be thinking differently. I know these examples which I gave, you know, a cloud kitchen or a bakery, they may be only 5 or 10% of such students, but they are really successful. And we should accept the fact that they would be more successful in the next, you know, 10 years, you know, maybe having bigger titles than us, because there are investors in the market. There are angel investors. You never know, tomorrow they replicate their small bakery into a brand, and that's how people grow. You know, this is the new field that I can see post-COVID.
Right. Very, very well said. Definitely the cloud kitchen concept and the entrepreneurial streak of students have been something that is very prominently being seen. And a lot of innovative ideas and concepts are something that are being worked around with and, you know, experimented with during this time. And I think people in general have become very open to the idea of trying new things and being open to new opportunities and new possibilities. That in itself is a great opportunity for the entire hospitality sector. In fact, that brings me to the next question, which I would like to address to Dr. Singh. Dr. Singh, keeping in mind all of these things that we have been going through during the COVID period, what are the new sectors that you see opening for students for their placements or for their career opportunities within hotel and hospitality area?
Well, I'll add on to what he said. Like at our times, also out of a batch of 60 or out of a batch of 40, hardly 15-20% people were joining industry, but they were joining service sector. And when you add on to this question, the new opportunities which are there for the students, if they explore. I will also cite an example here. Like during this pandemic, I have seen people becoming YouTubers. The people who have the students who were good at culinary skills, they have become YouTubers and they now have wonderful followers. And because of that, what they have done is they have started their home. They have made their home as a kitchen, and they have started taking orders from their home itself. So this entrepreneurship concept is going to come up, and this is going to be a challenging thing for we academicians, the senior leaders in academics, that we need to have something in our mind that, okay, now we need to train these students to develop business plans also. Because if they are trained to develop business plan, they will be able to do it in a better way. And if you look at the other part of it, what has happened right now, because most of the hotel industry students, they are very good for entire service domain. They work a lot on their communication ability. If you look at their confidence level, they are far good at that. They know customer handling. And because of that, they are being provided with a lot of opportunities in different domains. If I talk about domains, event management is becoming a hot domain for these students. Now, within a small township of Haldwani, I have seen 10 hotel management students grouping up and coming up with 2 event companies. And they have started taking various events and they are catering a lot of functions nowadays. Now they would have been taught well about event management also at the college time, they might have done wonders. But now they're learning it by doing it. So learning by doing certainly teaches you and masters you with a lot of skills. So, and again, if you look into this aspect that we are handling Z generation, the millennial, so these students, they are so tech savvy, they have a number of ideas which they incubate within themselves. So these ideas, if within the institute, if we start having an incubation center where we can give them that business or entrepreneurship training also, that can at least bring a lot of change and give a lot of possibilities to students. And these students certainly can take up a lot of good entrepreneurial projects with them. That's what I look into, and then the entire service sector is open for them.
Right, Dr. Singh. Absolutely. I totally agree. And in fact, one of the things very interestingly that we have been working on as an education research firm is that we have been very closely looking into the mental, physical, and emotional well-being of the students, the faculty, and all the stakeholders involved in the education space. So when I talk about education space, of course, it includes hospitality, hotel management, and all the other sectors that we deal with. So this is again very something very interesting and something which is very of great concern to us also, to understand how can we as various stakeholders and entities of this sector contribute to their well-being in terms of emotional, mental, and physical stability. Now, of course, we are moving towards a blended approach where things are half opening up and still in a half closed format. But even then, if you have any ideas, any of you would like to talk about certain concepts as to what we can do as institutions or industry to contribute to that, please share.
I would like to pitch in here. So see, as human beings, we all are professionals. We all are emotional. And it is very natural for us, we maybe whatever success in ladder that we have achieved, we will have positive thoughts and we will have disturbing thoughts, maybe because of personal or professional chaos. And so is with the students. Imagine they were supposed to get their first job and they could not do the job for reasons beyond their horizon. So in our company, IHG, we operate 6,000 hotels in more than 100 countries. We had to lay off people. It started with the US, UK. In India, the number were lesser because we still had people, long stays, but we eventually all had to lay off people. So the company came up with a program called I Am Here. It's a wellness program. So what we did was we certified our employees as I Am Here tribe member and I Am Here ambassador member. What it means is this is a training on the employee assistance. So if I'm having certain disturbing thoughts, what should I do in the company? So I can go to an ambassador, I Am Here ambassador, and that ambassador can help me cool down. He can make a note of his, because at the end of the day, everyone needs a shoulder to cry on. So while these, with this certification, I'm not becoming a psychotherapist, but I am becoming a wellness ambassador for the company. So in this training program, they teaches us, what are the signals, in an employee if he's feeling disturbed because of personal or professional life. So how to gauge those signals. What are the problems coming up, in their financial perspective? How we can help as a company or as an employer? Maybe maybe issues could be smaller and where we can help too. For example, if a student is stuck in a different city and the only chaos in his mind is, how can I afford food outside? While for us as hotelier, it's the simplest thing to to go in the cafeteria and offer that free meal service. So my suggestion is that we must invest in the wellness training of our teachers, professors, so that they also can gauge those signals from the student. I know some of the students are very expressive. They can say it on the face. Some of them may not. So there is no harm in exploring if we can create certain wellness ambassador, so I, in simple language, I have created posters like I am here, with our picture, with our contact number, and written messages like you must feel free to share your whichever part of the life that you wish to express. So while the COVID was at its peak, I had kept between 3 to 4 in the evening. I would be only spending time with my people. If you have an issue, come to me. I'll listen, because anyway the business dynamic was pretty diluted that time. So I am here was one approach which we did. There are a lot of companies which does these training certification on wellness. We must create wellness as a part of our culture. In fact, because I am in HR, one of my goals, there are 5 goals this year. One of the goal is IG well-being. So under well-being, it's my responsibility to do more of engagement activities under the umbrella of well-being, and all of all type, physical, emotional, mental. So this is becoming like my next PhD subject, because the company is making us as the ambassador on well-being.
Right. We also have a lot of hotel management educational institutions like Vaksha and Amrapali who are here today, who are also doing a whole host of initiatives, I think, at their end to mentor students, to take care of them at a psychological, at a mental, emotional level. Maybe, sir, Professor Thiru, would you like to share some of those initiatives?
Yeah, when initially we discussed about the student who graduated in the 2020, actually, they were all very upset that they couldn't start their management training program or wherever they got offer of appointment letter. So most of the companies that deferred date of joining, and that same thing, status quo continue. So what we did, we have active student council. So we call them on, for weekly basis meeting. And then because sometimes students may not come to us, faculty. So they have the close, relationship, the students within the students community. So we identified that within, okay, who needs, really, who's, in a very needy conditions of, counseling. So what we did, we have within our mentoring system, we follow all 53 faculty on board, and then every faculty have 25 to 30 students within them. Besides that, there are students welfare officer in our college, and also professional counselors from university. Then there are, online counseling. So what we did, we connected first internally. We had very, all the counselors, all the mentors supposed to have a virtual meeting with one-to-one students in a small group to get to know that what challenges they face. And then it's, down the line, it percolate to student welfare officer. The serious, cases which we refer to professional, counseling, which we take, which is in the university, which will be confidentially done to deal with, to deal one-to-one on, problem. So that is what we did. Besides that, what we did to break that monotony, sitting at home and always, thinking the negativity, what is happening in and around world. So virtually we connected to break that monotony, we conducted in-house competitions. Like, we asked students what kind of competition would be convenient for you. How many of you, will take part in that? So they came out with a beautiful idea of, doing all the operational department related to competitions. Then we had virtual cultural meet, to get into them, like they still connected to institute, because we believe always that besides what we do in classroom, outside classroom learning is very important to build team building and also get to know each other. So on that we never stopped. So that I think which helps students to to come out with whatever the challenges which they're facing during lockdown.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Well, Meghla, I'll add on to Sir Thiru's point. Like
Sure.
similarly, we adapted a lot of things. Like the biggest concern was to engage these students, because all of a sudden we were not having those chalkboard kind of teaching. It was all virtual, and even the teachers were new to it, and even the students were new to it. So what we have done is, we do have a mentor mentee program where students are grouped under a particular mentor, and there is a group of 15 students with every mentor. We have flipped the things. We have asked the student to be put themselves on the role of teacher, and what they have done is they have created their wonderful video demonstrations based on various SOPs of various practicals. And these video demonstrations these students prepared, and then they presented these videos to the teachers as a student, as thinking the teachers to be students. And then these teachers, they put a lot of queries to those presentations, which made these presentations more wonderful. And the last videos which were prepared by these students, they are wonderful repositories which we have. And because of that, we were able to engage the students. And we have a set of more than 400 videos which have captured moreover all the practical activities. And these videos are made by students only. And when a student is going to see these videos, certainly a student attracts student in a much better way as compared to a teacher who attracts a student in today's scenario. That was one thing which we have done. Then we have all the live activities also, because these students, they were sitting at their own remote areas. What we have done is we have asked them to prepare some wonderful drinks from their local terrains. So what there were drinks made from bichu grass, there were drinks made from a lot of local herbs, and there were a lot of innovation which was done. And because of that, this innovativeness of a student, it has made them wonderful creative people. And now when they come to us, and the kind of video presentations they have done, it has brought a lot of confidence within this student. Then we have various competitive events along with that, wherein these videos, they were put into one platform, and then there was voting done for these students, and this student participated in that voting also, which was a morale booster for them. So there were a number of things which are being done at institutions.
Just to add one more point, madam, that we conducted the program called TIPS. That TIPS stands for Teachers, Industry, Parents, Students Meet. So what we did, we connected all of them under one forum, and then we have discussed about alternate career options, what they can do it for the next 2 years. And the beautiful suggestions came up from the students, industry, parents. I think a lot of people spoke about, like Professor S.K. Singh was talking about innovation. So many people have spoken about how in alternate career option, what is the niche market, how they can pick up, like product development. Plant-based foods are getting popular. So using indigenous ingredients, and then they could make a prototype product which can try and test it out within their locality. Maybe probably if Mr. Rishabh was saying that you never know that maybe angel investor, and there are people who wants to start up something, probably they could help them. So a couple of people got an opportunity in that way, that whatever the prototype product they develop, there are getting into startup kind of, maybe in a small venture, but hopefully something they start now, then stabilize, and they scale it up in the future. So that's what we did from our side.
Lovely. I think everybody is trying to do their bit, and if industry and institutions are able to come together to really deal with this very important issue that we are discussing here today, because I and my team and all of us here, that we very sincerely feel that yes, of course, the COVID period is now going to be of a past, but even after we get over this phase, there is a lot for us to deal with in terms of how these students are doing psychologically, mentally. Of course, there was this phase when they were going through it, and then in the middle, and now that this phase is coming to an end. So we will have our hands full with such kind of challenges and issues, and we will have to come together as a consortium, or a joint platform where we can think of such kind of ideas and contribute to this. We have some wonderful questions, interesting questions that are there addressed for today's speakers. Neha, over to you for the questions.
Okay, I think our first question, Ms. Paul can handle. So the question is, as an entrepreneur, what will be your advice to the budding entrepreneurs to be successful in today's times? Can you guide them? Can you give them your ideas, your suggestions?
That's an interesting one, actually. As an entrepreneur, I feel and I truly believe that the great adversities are the greatest opportunities. So if you truly love what you do, if that's hospitality, there will be an opportunity in it. Okay. So when you're considering your future on whether you need to do a career change or where to go about with it, first ask yourself that whether you really want to change or you think you need to change. Okay. Because if you think you want to change, but you love what you do, which is hospitality, there will be some opportunity in it. Because me personally, I love hospitality because of the reasons that I mentioned before, because it's a vast field and I get to meet new people. And while this was one of my biggest challenges, the pandemic itself, because I'm an independent business hotel in the hub of the city, exploring more into what people were looking for, or the discussion among most people, is where we came up with a new holiday luxury, not luxury actually, luxury brand. And what we tried to start focus on were 3 points, which was one, people really wanted to step out or wanted to change an atmosphere. And second was price point was a very big challenge. Yeah. Yet, and one most important that became after the pandemic was the hygiene and personal care, and which became really important. So focusing on those 3, we actually came out with a new brand, which was Pause Hotel, which focusing on holiday destinations in around big cities, in the remote areas. So, again, as a hotelier myself, last year at this point, I was like, what am I going to do? Where am I? But again, if you love what you do, try and look within. There will be some opportunities in there. There has to be. So, yeah.
I think that's very encouraging for the students, Ms. Paul, and they will really derive a lot of strength and encouragement and support from these words, because for them to, hear it from an entrepreneur who's doing so phenomenally well and looking at every situation in such a positive light is indeed a great source of encouragement.
Okay, we do have one more question from Mr. Tandon. So what are the impacts on the scenario of placement, especially when we talk about the post-COVID effect? So what is the scenario of placement from an industry point of view?
True. So from the talent landscape perspective, we do see some movement, going back to the the hotel management campuses by September, October this year. Which means that our parent company IHG has a program called IHG Embark, which is an executive development program. We are looking at relaunching it in September, so visiting campuses in September, October, to get the students back and join us in June 2022. So this is the current projection, but as the nature of our business is, it's pretty dynamic. You never know. We may go even for more number of students hiring, depending upon how it unfolds. But the very fact is that hotels are doing occupancy. It is just the business is about ADR, because we all have tasted that kind of a room revenue. If we would have not tasted those kind of high room revenues, we would have been satisfying. But now any hotel owner would have that kind of a gross operating profit expectation. You can't show them the mirror, because the day you show them the mirror, they would say, management company, please walk off my premises. This is the honest game between the management company and a hotel owner. We are very, very practical and and positive about the international travel to restart. Even MICE business, exhibition business is happening in smaller ways. Some exhibition even at the we have India Expo Mart at the Greater Noida, which does the Auto Expo. So now we are talking about Auto Expo 2022 and some smaller exhibition in the month of April and May, which means that there would be some international travel that will start in April. Though it is not in our hand, purely, not in our control. But imagine if without international travel, 5-star hotels are doing 65% occupancy. And the kind of development which is in the pipeline, like last year we signed 5 hotels to open soon in places like Lucknow, Varanasi, Goa, all over. So and it's not just IAG, even Marriott and Accor have a huge pipeline of hotels. So when we all boast about having that hotel pipeline, we need people. Today, the supply may be more than the demand, but talent will always be required, right? So I am very much hopeful that we will start visiting the campus by August, September this year.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tandon. That has really helped. Similarly, I would like to ask Dr. Singh also the same question. How has been the placement scenario from an institute point of view post-COVID?
We were fortunate enough, our placements were done earlier prior to COVID. Just the students, they had deferred joining. That was one concern. And for this session, we have already started with the online interviews. We have done one round with Oberoi's. We have done an interview with Marriott's also. And there are interviews which are lined up. The only concern are the management training program. That will take some time. Otherwise, for operational level and for entry level, there are positions which have opened up. The associate level positions are already there. Then we are in process of having tie-up done with some international brands also. We have done 2 tie-ups recently. So now we will be opening. They are coming for placement. They will be doing their online placements, and which is scheduled from July onwards. So the students, they will get opportunities there also. The one concern which I will look forward towards industry is this is the right time when we need to partner up together. When I say partner up together, because suppose there are few brands which comes and we sign a MOU with those brands. It's not only for the recruitment purpose of training of students. It's basically, why cannot we have a restaurant which is operating on IHG standards? Why cannot we have a kitchen which is functional on IHG standards? If we can come up with such kind of MOU or such kind of tie-up, it will certainly boost up a lot of skilling of students from the basic level itself, because the kind of training which is provided to students, it has to match with those SOPs which are operational in industry now. So it is a time when the institutions need to partner up with the organizations and then to skill students from the very beginning for their properties as per their demand, which will upscale their recruitments and which even it will benefit both the parties. We are at one end, the industry at the other end. So placements are already started, Neha.
Sure, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Singh. We do have one more question for Professor Thiru. So, on an overall basis, how does the hotel and hospitality industry look like when we talk about the future, specifically post-COVID?
Yeah, the future will be, people talk about contactless economy, right? And, the lot of focus will be given on mental and physical well-being. And it's a great opportunity for students to explore, which we have not tried and tested out earlier, because this is giving a, lot of thinking process to see that how the dynamics of consumer behavior is going to change. So at the end of it, business is for only for the customers. So how they can, tweak, and then how they can adapt themselves and to get ready to face, post-COVID situation. As far as placement is concerned, what we are trying to push within our institute, we've been constantly counseling students to one-to-one to convince them about the, like we are pushing to alternate career options, like, getting into retail and getting into luxury, segments, and also, pushing into food processing industry, because that's a great, if you look at the past 8 months, that FMCG has done very well. Even in fact of, certain luxury divisions have done well, though the economy was slump, but there are certain divisions. So we are capitalizing that opportunity. So we have done with so far 4 companies interviews with including leading brands like Reliance Fresh and Reliance luxury division, and also ITC food processing food division, and HMS restaurant, which is known for airport restaurant. And then now on the pipeline, we are pushing into poultry processing industry, wherein I have almost close to 180 culinary art students. So I'm pushing them to in R&D, just in a product development. Today, if you see that there are a lot of market which is convenient foods available, which is semi-processed and fully processed. So that in that R&D, people are willing to take them, and then that's what we are working on it. So I'm sure that we should not worry about that. I think there are sky is the limit. Whatever crisis, we need to capitalize and then convert as an opportunity. And as in academicians and well-wishers and industry professionals, we constantly need to motivate the budding business managers, future business managers, because it's our duty, because with their maturity, they may not able to take certain decisions. That's where our experience will come into play to constantly motivate them. Thank you, Neha.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you.
In fact, today's discussion, I think it started with the challenges and how it's kind of converting itself into an opportunity, and how the students need to accordingly prepare themselves in terms of skill sets, knowledge, and experience. But I think it has evolved to a set of initiatives and inputs and insights that has been shared by all of you, which is to look at this situation in a very positive light, and to really look at this challenge as an opportunity to further grow and define a new career definition for themselves, and not to just stick to what they were earlier thinking, but to really push that thinking forward and think of some innovative and new areas to forge into. And very rightly said by Mr. Tandon, Ms. Paul, and all our other speakers today, that we've also had a situation now where the economy is opening up, the hotels are likely to start hiring in a big number once again. So I think this is a very positive message that's going to go out from this webinar today to all the speakers, to all the attendees, to the participants who will be also looking at these insights post us, putting it across our social media platforms as well. And thank you so much to each one of you for encouraging the students in this way, and really, forming this very, very supportive platform. The main idea behind these webinar series is to really form a partnership between the industry and the academia, and to give the students and the faculty and all the stakeholders involved in this sector this confidence that yes, we will be able to deal with this in a united way, and our country and economy and the whole world will get back to us, the same way that we were, or perhaps even better than what it was earlier, and much more innovative in its own way. So my deepest thanks to each one of you, Ms. Paul, Mr. Tandon, Dr. Singh, Professor Thiru. This has been such a wonderful discussion today, and I really would like to congratulate you for all the efforts that you're doing in your own respective areas, whether it's the industry or the academics, where you're contributing in your own beautiful way to the well-being, upliftment of the students and the faculty. Once again, the deepest thanks to each one of you. Neha, would you like to please wrap up with the vote of thanks?
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. I think it was a very fruitful and enriching discussion. On behalf of the whole GHRDC team, I would like to express my appreciation and gratitude to all the participants for taking out your time to attend the webinar. Sincere thanks to our panel of experts. Your presence has been invaluable and undoubtedly has made this webinar a very great success. Thank you so much once again, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, and it was a pleasure meeting you all virtually. And hopefully, once things are normal, and we should connect, in the campus. And thank you. My invitation to all the panel members: please feel free to, reach us, and then your support and the motivation required for, our students. Looking forward to see you all in campus. Most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, team.
Thank you very
GHRDC.
much. It was lovely
Thank you,
meeting
everyone.
all of you. Such important dignitaries. It means a lot to me to be a part of this discussion today. Thank you. It was really insightful for me itself. Thank you.
Thank you.
All.
Thank you, Neha, for excellent coordination. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Mr.
Oh, thank
Tandon, Dr. Singh. Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a
madam.
good evening.
Have a lovely
Thank you.
evening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Take care, everyone.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.